how you are joining me this hour. Welcome to 585 edition of InvestData Trading Academy Live with Ambrose. Yes, I'll say that the market, as we see globally, is mixed. Why NGX is extending in what is bullish run, even at we are seeing some profit taking this morning, but still the market remains still strong at this hour on NGX. For other African markets, we are seeing the mixed market. But let's start from what is happening in uh, in in Asia. But before that, I'll say sorry for the little delay in terms of time. Our internet was having issues, but we need to do this class. That's why we have to be moving from one to the other. Thank you for your understanding. But looking at what is happening in Asia market right now, because we are seeing that a new wave of concerns or uncertainty has also bring up in mature economy as well as trade tariff, global 15% tariff from US or from Trump. This also trying to shake most of the market as we speak now. I'll tell you that most market in Asia as we speak now are looking at a bit flat, while some also waiting for a trigger, especially waiting for a much clarity on what on US tariff. Why confidence in the entire AI trade was also set to be what tested by result from what from Nvidia this week. These are the things that is happening globally. But I tell you that many investors are waiting for much direction with this new tariff and also oil price. Continue to oscillate as we speak now. We've seen ease ahead of another round of talk between United States and Iran due in what in Geneva. This on Thursday. Let's see also with all this risk of U.S. military price lingering and all those stuff. What will it be? Fly or not? These are the things. But is there confusion looming? Yes, there's a large confusion looming. Among looking at what the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the President Trump emergency tariff, leading him to announce a new 10% rate on the rest of the world, only to then lift to lift it to 15. In a move that seemed to be surprising. And as I said, there's another wave. I see, but I tell you, it's a call for each economy or each country now to look inward and see where they have a competitive advantage, where their strength lies, and also try and look for another new market if this tariff will continue in this season or in this era of Trump in the US. All these are things that we're looking at to see that this another tariff landscape. So another thing that is also triggering another more uncertainties, and that even when we're seeing little stability, this uncertainties is not a good news for me. It's not a bad news for me. But I tell you, this is a time for any economy or market to start looking at what also will trigger the economy. That's why we look inward, looking well of Nigeria. I'm happy that we're seeing our FS growing to the 8 years high. We're seeing our naira stabilizing. I think it's the time for us to make policy that will drive our economy than using interest rate to be attracting foreign inflow with home and all that. Let us not sacrifice our own economy, our companies here to attract foreign inflow. I think it's a call for today. Today we're seeing that NPC meeting is kicking off today, the first one in the year. Let's see what they are going to come out with. But I know that many analysts, many market watchers, readers are looking at here to see another on change at the end of the day. Is there any point for court? If it's possible, if you really want to drive the economy, also know that this pre-election year liquidity. Let's leave Nigeria first. Let's finish what is happening, in mature market. As we speak now, this move by Trump again is bringing a kind of a triggering, or let's say moving for these uncertainties we are seeing right now. And for that, Australia was seeing that the market there. No, sorry, Australia is also having about 10% tariff under the new former under the former rules. Why many other countries in Asia had what higher rates? Let's see how it's going to play. Even though including UK and others, well, let's see how it's going to play out. With this new move from Trump about all this. But as we speak now, I'll tell you that Japan also market has edged up in the green right now. As we speak now, I think that Japan market is up by 0.5. Light as we're seeing a light trade in that market. Or like I said, reading around after short term for the holiday, I think that they're reading about 56,970 against the previous day of the previous close of 56,355. South Korea also extended its bull run with another 2% up as we speak now. Why the jump last week was about almost like to all-time high, about 5.5% for last week. For me, say good, but I tell you, the test for tech company is this if it is as test to let's see how this results. It's also going to set another pace, but I tell you that don't forget that this hike the seven magnificent stocks and the one is about of tech companies are going to sustain that pace. Treasury bid also is sliding, in that this are tariff was how it's going to play around and all this, and that's why I tell that this early morning or Monday in most of this market we are seeing that yes, all eyes are still probability of June rate cut. Is it possible? This year to see June rate cut from US. All these are things Federal Reserve of year to see what going to do. Let's see 50% from 60%, 52% from 60 a week ago. Possibility of a rate cut in June. Let's see what happened. But at the end of the day, I tell that dollar is structurally under pressure as we speak now. As speculation and chaos over US trade policy could also reinforce the sell America thing evidence in what in markets in recent months. I will tell you that this is another trigger that push that that market to that push the US to that market. Commodity market, yes, you can say that gold is still gaining as safe haven as we're seeing all these uncertainties coming, and that speak now. You can see that the gold is almost firm at 5,143 for ounce. Yeah, while the silver also is up by what by 2%, trade around the 86.27 per onions again from after climbing about 8% on Friday. Good for me. Oil price, the one that is shopping just trying to stabilize, but having a little gain, this morning on flat. But so that last week, where oil price, have crossed $70 as we speak now, but still, I think almost a flat moment in terms of price right now. Quick one look at what is happening in Europe. Europe is another market. As speaking, I tell you that the trade, stocks in Europe are retreating as more trade uncertainties hit this pattern of many market player right now, and that is what we're witnessing in that market right now. But I believe there's no cause for alarm as investors are all putting their eyes in that direction. But I believe that this uncertainties also will open the eyes of many players in that market also. But I think for me, it's a good move. For those that are playing this market and watch, but all these uncertainties have a wolf. After market have rallied, we've seen the European market rally for this while profit taking might come adjustment. But as we speak now, there's a mixed market in that Europe now. We're seeing that Germany market, which is the ASO index is down by 0.5, and that of UK, which is the FTSE, is also down 100, down by while that of France is up by 0.1. That is a CAC 40 France the index is up. But good thing at this point that the Trump tariff hit sentiment again as global equities, including the main Europe indices, and also receive a boost last Friday when the U.S. Supreme Court also called void most of the tariffs U.S. President Donald Trump imposed last year, finding that the emergency law has relied on did not allow the imposition of a tariff. But let's see how far. However, I'll tell you that different nations are looking for, like I said at the beginning, that is the right thing to do. We're talking about respond over the weekend by announcing the first of 10%, then a 15% global levy that could last 5 months, while the administration search for a more durable, workable, or to work around it. But let's see how these uncertainties generated by trade policy again also push market or economy around again and weigh on sentiment of market players as we speak. But I'll tell you that the European Central Bank also, Christian Allen also have said on Sunday that on this, face the nation, they too they want to also know the rules of the road before they get into the car. That's it. All this that's happening, they're all looking at. But I believe, the same, regulators in terms of CBNs or central banks of the world, they're all looking at it to weigh, the equilibrium and weigh all this policy how it's going to affect, each region or nations, at the end of the day. But I tell you that yes, we're seeing some Germany info shows the improvement in confidence. That confidence in Europe has been on the rise, pushing the broader base of the STL 100 index to an all-time high last week. If that will continue to help also solve the market in Europe, is really looking green for further because of what positive earnings to also to reflect also the economic data that are coming gradual recovery in that zone or in that region is part of what's also bringing the market. And I believe they will sustain it. Also, if this happen, for me, it's a plot for Europe. Also, say Germany being the biggest economy in that eurozone, but seeing the business climate, is showing relatively stabilizing, and also at the sense August, and that also will be for me a good news for that zone. I will see more of that. Also, we'll see that company numbers that are coming for that region are also very impressive, and let's see how they will sustain. It also reflects that the economy is also recovering, and which also I'm likely to see in our market here in NGX at the end of the day. But today we're looking at our good topic. No, but let me finish with US. They will now quickly go to see what our discussion for today is. Don't forget I'll have extended time by almost 5 minutes if we're not stopping at 12:30 because of started late. Let's look at the US market. US market as speaking, I'll tell you that the market is also looking southward like this as the president in that country has also the statement is also weighing on the US market already, even though all the global market have tended to digest the recent pronunciation from Trump, and for that we are seeing that US stocks are looking southward now, with the Supreme Court ruling against President Trump, emergency tariffs, still regulating through financial market, trying to balance all this. And Trump responded to the decision by bound to impose global 15% tariff, but the duration of this levies is limited. Majorly, I'll tell you that Trump is taking a trade, and because I don't know how I'll put it, for trade partners to US and others, we are seeking more clarity around what decision would mean forward for previously, for trade, deals with not already they've signed trade deal with Washington with US. But as we speak, like I told you earlier, all the indices are in red right now as investors digest the move of President Trump to impose temporary across the board tariff of 15% following the ruling against emergency levy by the US Supreme Court last week. All this thing is doing what is happening. But right now, S&P is down by 0.6, and Dan Jones is up or down sorry by 0.5, and what that of Nasdaq is also down by 0.7. You can see that all the main averages on Wall Street are looking red right now, from the previous week performance. With the Supreme Court much activated decision driving sentiment, and also Trump decision to levy 15% tariff on the global economy and all that. These are the things I will say, because I'll tell you why the Supreme Court tracked down Trump use of a 1979 emergency power law to enact strict duties on a host of countries based on and around the world. The ramification of the ruling, particularly the effect of reform potentially owned by companies impacted by the tariff. These are the things that Friday Supreme Court is also rapidly causing in that regard, or in that nation or country as we speak. And for me, we see that Trump have set down 15% global tariff after the Supreme Court setback. But let's see how far all is going to play around on the different nation and economy as we speak. But meanwhile, I'll tell you that many leaders or many economic managers in different nations and countries are also looking at, like I said, let them look inward and see those countries that have a trade partner with US reacting to the Supreme Court ruling. It's also part of it. But I believe that the European Commission, the executive arm of the European Union, and the chief regulators of the bloc, 27 member states, also asked that the US stand by the terms on an accord reached in 2025. The Commission also demanded that Washington provide full clarity on how its tariff policy would change following the world decision. All these are what is playing out now. But we don't talk about that. Elsewhere, China, who also had had a intensive negotiation with the US, is not also looking also in the wake of this fleet of that tariff battle last year. Said it was also making a full assessment of the Supreme Court ruling and call on the US also to step away from what from unilateral what tariff measure on its trading partners. It's all good for them. Cooperation between US and China is beneficial to both side, but fighting is harmful. China's commercial commerce ministry also said that let's see how all this will be playing out in that work. I tell you that most on this backdrop we're going to see a lot of reaction and all stuff. But let's wait and see remark from Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Wallace on Monday, that's today, to see how the speech is going to go. And in Washington is due to cover economic outlook and also the policymakers of also they sent to the Fed choice to leave rates unchanged at a rate of 3.5 to 3.7 in January. Let's see all this thing playing out. And then let's leave US and the mature economy and look for emerging markets, especially looking at Africa. Africa market, as we speak now, is also in green. Most of them are in green, even though we're seeing some few African countries trying to pull back just slightly but flat. But majority of the market in Africa are in green. NGX is not left behind, leading kind of extending the gain or the rally we are seeing as we speak now. We are seeing another breakout of strong supply line of 195,000 again today, as the market is reading 195,887.02, trading range of 194,958.5 to 195,887.47. I see the range this morning. After this is the peak of the market. We are seeing the market trying to expand already. For me, it's a good news for our market, as market is also forging higher. Right now, market is all by 0.46, representing 896.81 basic point, and we're having still a positive market rate. We're having 37 advances against 24 decliner this morning, and this is the state of the market. We're seeing most stocks on the gainer chart, and those stocks are pointing where the market is going. But for today, as we're looking at NGX, the good, the bad, the ugly stocks, as market players remain at Crossroads. What are the investors doing today? What is the state of the market? How are they taking advantage of this market? And I'll tell you that yes, the market currently, the good, the bad, and the ugly stocks, as the market players experience of historic rally. And I tell you, albeit that potentially we're seeing that people are being cautious, we're saying rally is extending, and how will you as a market player take advantage of it, especially as most investors are at crossroads. At this crossroad, what is going on is very, very important. Yes, we have seen look at what happened the week under review. We've seen market making a new all high, crossing the 194,000 mark. I'm not told us to speak now. That's crossed 195 mark. Again, heading to 100. That means 200,000 mark is at the corner before the week runs out. If this momentum we are seeing today continue for the rest of the week. But I will tell you that even at this time, there are some stocks that I will call the good one, the ugly, and the bad. How do you start from the ugly? Look at let's start from the good ones now. As we speak now, what are the criteria for you to say these are good stocks or these are the bad ones? Yes, we are saying that investors that focus more on earnings, and these earnings for me, the key factor that will drive prices further from here. Yes, the MPC meeting is ongoing. We are going to see communicate after 2 days, that is by Tuesday afternoon, and after that, what the next one? Oh, we're about to see Q3, therefore Q4 2025, GDP figure, which would are likely to be in the market today or before the MPC finish or after the MPC. Fine, but I'll tell you what prices are on a new level already. But the key thing is that what will matter most in this season is the corporate action. What is the level of reward? What is the for me for companies that has fewer few share an issue, numbers are doing well, companies are doing well, government people are pricing them. Possibility of them expanding their share issue by giving either a bonus share on a cash dividend is key at this point. That means if you know you go back to check some companies that are giving bonus in the market with a corporate action with a dividend, cash dividend, you can see the way the price have jumped. Starting from Vital Food that came in December, we have seen the Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank with 1 for 1 bonus and 35 kobo. You can see that the price have moved from around 7 naira to almost 16 naira. That is more than 100% gain. When that means market will remain above because if companies will go and rely the part of payment, then that there's already a compression of what in dividend yield because of new prices. But only company that can still push their price with a lot of expecting because most of the companies that will disappoint is when they keep paying what they are paying in the previous, especially for 2024. Their price might not rather to be pulled back. But I know that the result we're expected to see in 2026 will be a good yardstick to judge the way they are going, especially as the government policy and also the kind of sentiment we are seeing, the liquidity that have been behind this rally will remain intact. But let's pay attention to what corporate action is key, dividend announcement, and what kind of level are they doing bonus, are they doing dividend, and for me, it is the time for most analysts or most investors to target those companies that has fewer share in issue, and also those companies that have done share reconstruction, and those that has potential also to go ahead and do share reconstruction is very, very important at this point. And before we go further, for us to say the company is a good one, because I said the good, the ugly, and the bad at this current time. What are the good stocks? Pay attention to good stocks. These are fundamental driven stocks. Currently, most of them are still enjoying this rally. Will they continue? Yes, they will continue because the character of this fundamental driven stocks are one, strong corporate action, strategic growth movement was seen in the sector of the company. And the ability also for the company to give handsome reward to shareholders. You can see handsome reward to shareholders is very, very important. That means you pay attention to those blue chip companies that are having this criteria I've just mentioned now, that is where you build your tech, and these are classified to be what the good ones, the good, the ugly, and the bad. And these are the good. And I can mention just few names for those the good and ugly as we speak now. I see that as we speak now, those blue chip companies that you pay attention, some of them are already what you know, but I will mention just only few. Then I leave the rest for you to do. I'll mention stuff like FTN is a good one, NACO is a good one, Steplat, even Dangote, especially Lafat is also a good one. Let me stop there for those that I say these are blue chips. You can also understand what I mean. And also the life of fixing the life of Jais Bank and others also consider these stocks. You see, their good dividend payers also what you also watch out at the end of the day. Because their earnings are strong. But if you say those that are bad, the bad, the bad, I don't want to say, we are seeing one already. Warning technically and technically we are seeing warning. And also if you look at their fundamental, they are also still struggling. And also the momentum also is telling us that when we're chasing those stocks without strong fundamental will soon lead to bubble if the numbers they release do not kind of commemorate or support the rally they're seeing. This momentum we are seeing or chasing them will start also dropping. And for that, you need to also play with caution. And this we have to play with caution because I tell you, these stocks, yes, they might look good now, but you have to also play with caution because things are not looking good on that stocks. That's why I said you must know about the good, the ugly, the bad, and these are for the bad ones. But for the ugly, I would say that also you want to pay attention to what when I say the ugly, I'm not stocks, being left behind, in the rally because of what when there will be change in this market. These are the one I was thought like that for like part of due to what due to specific issue with those companies and also the sector where they're operating is very, very and also intense profit taking also hit them any moment from now. You must pay attention because I tell you the risk in a bull market is high, especially when everybody is wanting to become analysts and they are buying, but you have to be very careful in that situation. And I'll tell you for those ugly, I call them the laggard also the profit taking victim. Let me put that way at this point. And the profit taking one of them is Mercure. Mercure is one of them. Aru to be school also you have to pay attention. Ella League as we speak now, and many others as we speak. But at the crossroad, what happened now? What will investors be doing at this? Because as many market players are at the crossroad, both the investors, both the traders. What will you do at this point is that several factors are set to determine the market next level of move as we are to speak. Like I said at the beginning, we're looking to see the outcome of what the policy meeting that is ongoing right now. No, is there, are you expecting a rate cut? Why? The expectation is wide, but I tell you that we are likely to see either a hole, but if a cut come, that will be also a good one. Recently, we have seen some physical instrument seeing continuous decline in rate or whatever I call it, especially the past two treasury bill option we have seen, primary market we have seen drop with that. And however, there's a caution also in that yes, analysts are looking at what will be at the end of the day as a Polaris Polaris banks. We are looking at the warning from there, kind of a correction there. Also, what are investors advising about to focus on what on fundamentally sound stocks, because I tell you, when you are for stock, price movement is not only guaranteed, you're going to guarantee what stability, and that is also a good. That's why at any given time the banking stock remain attractive because of liquidity level. You must pay attention to that. But at this point, I will pray that many investors of market player should stay on a path of what on a path of discipline. Set your goal and also trade with your plan. It's very, very key. Good stocks, like I just mentioned earlier, like MTN, like NACO, like CWG, Steplat, and all that, Arade, they are good. They are backed up by what solid, fundamentals and strategic vision that we're seeing. Why those bad and the ugly stuff from the overvalue, point of it? You can see also look at their fundamentals outside the time, and most of them are fundamentally weak laggards. We are seen already in that class, but provide a clear lesson at this point that you as a trader or investor at this crossroad, what will you, or is that you must do your due diligence on any investment you are taking and see whether you are entering at the wrong time or at the right time. It's very, very important at this point. Yes, we'll stop here for today. We'll quickly look at what is happening in the market. It's very, very important. Let's look at few stocks and see what is happening in those stocks as we speak. Right now, this is the market. You can see that the market is extending uptrend, crossing a 195,000. You can see after in a little market side trend here before so the breakout and it continue. Also after this one, a breakout to continue. Market pullback is also side trend. A breakout, you see a breakout from this level, it continue. You can see that the market is trending up. For me, it's a good one. But let's quickly look at the call up our our indicators here. It's very, very important for us to do that. Let's see, let's call up our indicators to help us look at the state of the market and look at few things here before we call it a day. Because of our time, we have said let me call, take to so that we can take advantage of the time before we start the 5 minutes. I just want to make use of it now. Yes, you can see the T line there. You can see the then the next one is very, very important is money flow. Is the money entering the market right now is very, very key. Money index leading above 60 for me is a good one for now. But let's also look at other things right away. But we'll quickly change our T line to 8 as usual, because that is our T line. It depends on the on the ETA, EMT we are using, EMA we are using. But now I can see on this one the market is still strong, trading above the T line. MACD is strongly here. It's proven. Also money flow is looking up, even looking a bit flat here, but you can see that it's looking up already on a daily chart. You can also look at it on a 1 hour chart. On a 1 hour chart, you can see that the market is also strong. Looking at the momentum, the index is looking up. I tell you that index is not only a yardstick to look at, but it guide you towards. I tell you that 50% of market direction affect every that in the market. If market is strong, we're going to pull some stocks up. You can see it here. And also, if you look at the 1 hour chart, you can see that the market is a bit bearish in terms of MACD. On 1 hour chart, even as market is trending up, you can see that the momentum is also not up with that market, so it will try to also slowing down here. Money flow is already reading 100 stable. You can see it here for many days. We're seeing it here. Then you can also look at the let's take a look at 2 hour chart before I take other things here. You can see 2 hour chart, you can see 2 hour chart is strong. MACD is very, very strong here. You can see it's very, very positive. See here, see bullish. Money flow is also reading around the 94, looking up at 2 hour chart. For me, it's a good one. But finally, I want to look at 4 hour chart for me before I refer to some few stuff before we go. On 4 hour chart, market is strong. You can see that it's a sign that we must pay that attention to that 4 hour chart. Market is still strong. MACD is looking up sharply, but trading above the T line, and money flow is reading 100 on 4 hour. For me, it's a good one. But let's look at a few stocks that we're seeing a fast change in most of the stock. Me and Baker, can see me and Baker can see also, Fixen, we're seeing Okomu, ICO, we're seeing this new insurance company that's selling around 60 kobo, that started with 20 kobo. Yes, also we're seeing profit taking and others. We're seeing the life of ROT Crisco, the life of Triple G and Homatech and others, looking at start to consider that even Ella Lake, Multiverse, and ECL are look, and I tell you, these are stuff that we also to be very careful with. Like I said, these are the bad and the ugly in the market right now. I should more pay attention to and also trade wisely with them. Yes, because of our time is fast spent. At this note, I will say thank you for continuing details on this on Wednesday. Hopefully, by God grace. See you. Bye.